a history with problems. I've suffered with, like, basically not anxiety recently, depression, that sort of thing. I've given up drinking at the moment, and I'm doing pretty well with that, and my health feels a lot better. But I have got I have got passion for mental health. I did a public health degree, and one of the things that was fascinating was learning about mental health. So my basis got me onto these two bands here. Well, one band, sorry, but I've got these two songs, and when you listen to the lyrics, they are quite powerful. But before that, I want to play a couple of random videos for you that I found on YouTube, which this covers a little bit about mental health. So again, if you struggle with with problems yourself, or this is a subject that you're not too keen on, then please feel to not watch and come back in a bit. Like I say, it's only going to be about 15-20 minutes. I'm just going to literally play a couple of these videos and have a little bit of a chat in between. Like I said, this is being recorded, and it's going to be uploaded onto my YouTube channel, because going forward I want to start doing stuff like this. So this is just a little test at the moment. So let's go here, mental health. So there's a couple of videos, but the first one I want to play is this one, which is we all have mental health, which is, a little bit of a fascinating thing, because, we tend to, we actually do. There's a thing about mental health. There's a good mental health or a bad mental health. Everyone has mental health. I learned that when I was doing my assignments, because I kept putting mental health in my assignments, and my tutor pointed out that mental health, everyone has mental health, but you either have good mental health or bad mental health. So yeah, let's just play this one for you, and then we'll see.
You can't tell how someone feels just by looking at them or what they share online. To the outside world, our lives may look perfect, even if in reality they aren't. I'm always worrying about doing well at school, and with the end of year test coming up, I'm not sure how much longer I can cope. My thoughts swarm around my head, sometimes keeping me up all night. Some days it's just all too much, and I feel like I'm lost in space. When I did badly on one of my tests, I just about kept it together until I got home. Then I broke down crying in front of my mum. She listened for a bit, and then she told me that, just like physical health, we all have mental health. It's our feelings, our thinking, our emotions, and our moods. She then said that feeling down, angry, and stressed is a normal part of life, just like it's normal to feel happy, confident, and carefree sometimes. We all have positive and negative emotions that come and go based on what's happening around us. These are everyday feelings. Good mental health means experiencing negative emotions. It's not always about being happy. Mum can relate to the feelings of stress. So when Mum suggested I take a break from everything and do something I enjoy, I actually took her advice. So I made myself a hot chocolate, snuggled up in a duvet and watched a film. And you know what? Afterwards I felt so much better. Mum should take her own advice.
Most of us only ever...
So that's one thing, and that's a good point, that we do suffer with mental health, whether it's positive or negative. Some people tend to not be able to cope with things as much. It is fascinating. One of the things I learned when I was studying at university was, we all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different places, but quite often, me growing up, I had my mum to turn to. My mum was a great help for me, and if I had any problems I would go to her, and I had that support network. I had friends around me, but I still struggled, especially as my mum and dad drank heavily, and growing up and seeing them drinking and that, it's hard for somebody, but there's a lot of people out there that don't have a support network, they don't have people they can turn to, and yeah, that is hard. I think, one of the things I learned when I was doing public health was that, your support network, where you're from, the people around you can be a big influence on you, and, it just helps to have somebody that you can turn to. And like I say, not everyone's lucky enough to have that, but if you do have somebody that you can turn to, then please feel free to do that, because I think it's a great help.
Share the good things. We don't like to share how we really feel. Every morning when I wake up, negative thoughts stream through my head. Getting out of bed and pretending I'm okay takes all the energy I have. As the day goes on, the negative thoughts turn from a stream into a river. The water rushes through my head so loudly it's hard to concentrate in lessons. And some days it's so bad it feels like a waterfall that's trying to pull me over the edge. Everything is so overwhelming. I didn't think my friends would understand if I told them how down I was feeling. But when Sasha opened up to me about how stressed she was feeling, I told her. I wasn't sure how to bring up how I'd been feeling, so I started by saying that I didn't feel like myself. Just her listening made me feel like she understood. She told me some things that had helped her, so I tried them too, but it didn't make much of a difference. Even when I tried to be around my friends, I felt alone. The things I used to enjoy weren't fun anymore.
I was really worried about Andre and not sure what to do. He was quiet and wasn't hanging out with us like he used to. So I asked our head of year for some advice. He suggested I get Andre to speak to him since his negative feelings weren't going away.
I didn't want to speak to our head of year, but I also didn't want to keep feeling so down, so I went. He said that sometimes we have overwhelming feelings that can be more intense than our everyday feelings. These feelings hang around for a long time and change the way we feel, think, and behave. They can stop us doing what we want to in life. That's what I was going through. He also said that if we're physically unwell, we let people know, we ask for help. It should be no different with mental health. Sometimes our overwhelming feelings are brought on because of things in our life. Sometimes they happen for no reason at all. After hearing this, I felt much less alone and it felt good to talk. Scientists have found exercise can help when you're feeling low, so our head of year encouraged me to sign up to the school football club, which Sasha was already in. I still have days when the river is there, but now I'm beginning to understand my mental health. I'm learning how to cope. Our head of year reminded me that my friends, family, teachers, and lots of others at school are there to help just as much as he is. I had no idea the people around me could be so understanding. And while it's not always easy to talk about my mental health, the person I'm talking to might be able to help. If you don't feel like talking, that's fine. You could try writing, sports, reading, art, music, playing with your pet, whatever makes you feel better.
If you're the person someone talks to when they're struggling, just listen with no pressure or judgments. You don't have to have the answer. If you feel unsure about anything, you can speak to a trusted adult. Talking about mental health.
So yeah, that's another interesting point is I feel talking about it is brilliant, but sometimes not everyone feels confident enough to talk. They don't necessarily know who to talk to, but sometimes it's just a case of just opening up and just saying to somebody, look, I don't feel okay. Like if you felt sick or had a cold or a flu or anything like that, you would go to the doctor or you say to you something. But mental health isn't as simple as that. And I think it's very fascinating. I did a thing at university called, which was a little bit of training called, it was only like a day, it wasn't complicated training. I did it through the student union and it was called Check on Your Mates, and it's just all about, being there, know what to say to your friends, checking on them, asking if they're okay, if they want to talk, that sort of thing. And I think that's a big thing. I think if everyone was to learn that, teach it at schools, I think it's very important. But the problem with mental health is that it's often seen as a taboo subject. Nobody wants to really talk about it. And I think it's harder now because, since COVID, there's been a lot of mental health issues with people suffering. I mean, I suffered it myself when I was in isolation for quite a bit at university. It's hard, being away from your parents or your family or whatever. But I feel like if, and obviously the government cut funding and stuff like that, so there isn't the funding around like there used to be. But I feel like if there's just more awareness, and I do find that now celebrities are being more open about it. They've had the princes talking about their mental health. You got more celebrities being more open about their mental health problems. It does make it a lot more easier for people. People are a bit more accepting of mental health issues now, and are willing to talk about it. And I feel that's it. There was an interesting point there about exercise helping with my mental health. I did a bit of research when I was at university, did it for my dissertation. I was quite interested in what mental health has an impact. Like, I find that one of my things I like to do when I suffer from my mental health problems is I like to go out and go for a walk. I like to go out and get a bit of fresh air. I love watching like nature programs, like going out to nature, like seeing birds and what have you, and just generally getting out into the outside world. And I did a bit of research into that, and I just found that you don't have to exercise, you don't have to go for a jog, go for a run, but even just getting outside, go for a bit of fresh air and go for a bit of a walk can help massively. And like I said, there is people out there to talk to. People don't have to be alone anymore. So anyway, so thank you for listening to that one. I won't play any more of this video. I've just got one more I'm going to skip to, and this one is to, hopefully it might teach some people how to look after somebody with with their mental health or if they're struggling. So let's have a look at this video.
Can I just
I don't know what to.
I think
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. You don't know sometimes what to say, and you're basically walking on eggshells.
Sometimes it can shock people if someone says you're having a good day. They just expect you to say, yes, Sound, I'm okay. And I'll say, no, I'm not. And some people can get taken aback. Oh.
And I think there's the fear of saying the wrong thing. What do I know about mental health?
I was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, body dysmorphic disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder back in 2013. And on Friday the 29th of August 2014, I tried to take my own life.
My name's Hakira, and I'm Sandeep's mother, is it?
Best friend.
I'm best friend.
Dave first joined the Mint session when he was struggling with his mental health, and from there we kind of, in a strange way, hit it off, I think.
It's love at first sight.
I like to think of it that way.
I'm Dr. Will Murcott. I'm a mental health nurse and senior lecturer with the Open University.
For me, listening is at the top of the list. I think that's the first and most important step. If you can, active listening, repeating back some of the things that they've said to you so that they can feel and realise that they're being helped.
That first initial conversation that you had with me when my mum and dad sat me down, that's when the bubble popped for me. That's when I thought at that very moment that someone's noticing how I'm feeling. Someone is noticing and having an oversight of my pain, just asking how you are. It was so crucial and so important to me at that moment.
Ask twice, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. But no, are you really okay? And then it's like, well, no, actually, I'm not.
I think there is an urge to try and problem solve and do something. And there's almost need sometimes to be able to fix a problem or a person. And sometimes that's not the right thing to do in that situation.
Yeah, I learned quite a bit when I was doing my mental health stuff, and I've done a few courses on mental health awareness, and I've worked in care work for a lot of years, and I did some youth work as well, and we learned when it comes to somebody opening up to you, especially if it could be about abuse or it could be about mental health issues or whatever, just to listen, don't judge, don't try and problem solve, like you say. You're not there to investigate, you're not there. A lot of the times it is what somebody to vent at or listen to, and I just feel it's easier, like, if you do listen, but at the same time just acknowledge what they're saying back, so then that makes the person aware that you're listening, even if you just ask like open questions or, you know, a little bit of like repeat back what they're saying to you, you know, helps them understand that you are actually listening to them. But yeah, just listen and just, you know, be there for them.
People aren't necessarily looking for answers. People want to be heard.
One of the things I've learned as a mental health professional is that often if I try and set goals or have my own needs and wants and desires for how somebody should get better, they are usually wrong. And so from my point of view, it's working with a person at their pace and trying to understand how they want to move.
You can suggest go to see your GP, you can suggest support groups, you can suggest people taking an activity. You can go and join in that activity with them, so they're not feeling alone with that.
One size does not fit all. You've had a really great idea, didn't you, the family trusted
Yes.
circle?
So what we do, we go out the family environment and go to a coffee shop or just sit there, all four of us, actually doing our pos and negs. What's been your positive for the whole month? What's been your negative for the whole month?
We spend a lot of time insulting each other. We just send each other little videos or, oh yeah, I've been watching that, and just little clips. Everybody's at the click of a button now.
You're in my pocket.
Yeah.
If they're really struggling and at breaking point, emergency phone lines out there, and Samaritans as well. They need to know that there is support out there. And it's so hard to see that when
You are in a dark place.
when you're in a dark place, yeah.
One of the scary things is that kind of pressure of what do I do if? Because there can be nothing more scary than having somebody talk to you about ending their life, harming themselves in some way. Really, the person needs to know as well at what point you'll find something acceptable or unacceptable, and then have to do something or involve somebody else. I always try and get that conversation done as soon as I can, to say, look, you know, I will never breach your confidence, but if there are things that worry me, then I may have to do something about that. And again, that's absolutely okay, because the person will thank you for it afterwards.
Yeah, going back to that one, the previous one about not one size fits all. I discovered that when I was learning about public health, and the NHS is getting better now. I think they're starting to realise that, you know, there isn't a one size fits all type of thing. You know, everyone's different. Everyone has different needs and different ways of they like to be treated, or they like to be treated, or, you know, how to, you know, better serve their health. And I think, you know, the NHS used to have a kind of a one model structure that would have kind of one size fits all, and that would be their approach to a lot of things, you know, when it comes to health and, you know, and stuff like that. And not everyone's, like you said, not everyone's the same. Everyone has different things, so it's all about working out what, you know, is best for you as a person. Could be going to a doctor, it could be, you know, seeking help through counselling or whatever. Could be just listening to the music or talking to friends, or, you know, finding some sort of hobby. I think is a great thing. And yeah, the last bit there that we talked about was, you know, if it's, you know, sometimes come from where I come from in that kind of work, you know, we can't necessarily keep everything confident, and, you know, sometimes we have to say to them, look, if this is serious, it needs to go further. And, you know, and it's just approaching that with them and saying, look, you know, these are, you know, support lines out there for if, you know, you're feeling very low, or it gets to a point where, you know, you feel like they're in danger or whatever. You don't be afraid to approach that kind of subject as well.
People know that I'm here and we're going to do this together. So if that means, right, me and you, we're going to make an appointment at the GP, we'll go together and we'll do this together. And it's about being in the mud together.
You have to keep your own emotional batteries charged up, because when they're drained out, you can't help anybody else and you struggle to function. let alone just trying to look after yourself. The plane and the oxygen mask, put your oxygen mask on first. Self-care is the number one priority, I think.
So I don't think you can actually...
Yeah, so that's a very important thing when I learned about the check on your mate. It's about having those boundaries as well. You got to think about yourself, so don't be letting, it get into you too much. Don't be, saying, oh yeah, I'm there for you, and, and dropping everything for people, because, you got to think about your own health as well. And, if you can't be taking on too much, or, and if you're exhausted or tired, or, you find that you're struggling, then you're not going to be much help to other people. It's the same as, when it comes to if you want physical health. Like if you aren't looking after your physical health, then how can you look after someone else's health? So yeah, it's all about making sure that you look after yourself as well, and don't be afraid to to put those kind of boundaries in place as well when it comes to looking after your friends and stuff.
Fail, and that's something that I would really push to everyone who's helping someone with mental health struggles, is you haven't failed, you cannot fail, but you can do something.
Trust your instincts, be yourself.
The right thing was probably what you first felt, and that could have been sitting and listening, just nodding, or it could have been responding, tell me more about that. So not to over-worry, not to overthink, but there is support out there, and there are people that will listen to you and give you advice and guidance.
And it's important to talk. Oh my God, it's so important to talk.
Very important to talk.
We had most chats with love you, man. It's good to have someone like Josh in my life. It makes my life better.
So I hope you like those couple of videos, and I hope they were insightful for people. And if anything, when you take away from this video, just be, just don't be afraid to ask for help if you feel like you're struggling. I've been there myself. I tried to bottle it up. I tried to act strong for other people because I felt like if I showed weaknesses, then I would be no help for other people. But again, you've got to look after your own health as well, when it comes to, seeking help and stuff. You can't help other people if you're not looking after yourself as well. So yeah, hopefully this has been insightful. Now, there's a slight change up. I'm going to play 2 more videos. Now, these videos were basically songs. But Mrs. got me onto this band, and I find that the videos are very fascinating. The lyrics to these songs are very interesting. They have a very sort of like, he's the guy that spawned this band is the lead singer, who's very open about his mental health. I think he's a mental health nurse or something like that, and these lyrics are all very sort of like about mental health and the struggles with mental health. So yeah, have a listen and see what you think.
Tonight the monsters in my head are screaming so damn loud, but I built walls so high so they never even make a sound. It's a mask, it's a lie, it's the only home I've ever known. 'Cause being who I really am has only left me more alone. I am not okay, and I need you to see it. I have so much to say, and no one to hear it. The reason I keep quiet with so much at stake, I always feel like a bird and let it silence me. You'll never understand why it's so hard to say I'm not okay. I wish I had a scar, had a bruise on the surface, any kind of clue.
Yeah, that's what, it's very fascinating that, because, you know, when it comes to mental health as well, like physical health, you can show stuff like a scar or, you know, whatever. But when it comes to mental health, nobody can really see what's happening inside. And, you know, that lyric of "I'm not okay," I always say, and it's something that's been said for quite a while, and I know there was a big mental health campaign, but it's okay to not be okay. But I think it's a very powerful message to say to people, you know, it's okay to not be okay. So I'm going to go on to the next video now and just listen to a couple of bits of these lyrics. I'm not playing all videos because, you know, just trying to serve a short bit of time out. But if you want to go listen to the band, they are called Citizen Soldier, and, you know, they are very good. I do like them a lot. My missus, if you blame my missus, she got me into them.
That's the part that hurts. Another call unanswered has got me losing sleep, and now I'm questioning, were you ever listening? You know me more than most do, and that's what got so deep. When I needed you there, you didn't seem to care. I showed you all my demons when I was out of reasons, and I ain't inconvenient. Where were you when I was at my worst? Wouldn't put me first. That's the part that hurts. Where were you when I was scared to trust? Still I opened up, 'cause I lost too much. It could have been life or death. I tried, but I'll never forget. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you?
Yeah, it's quite powerful, that, and, you know, the way we go when I'm at work, sometimes, you know, not everybody can deal with, you know, with mental health and stuff like that, and it can be a hard thing, but finding the right person to be there for you when you need them most is, you know, a brilliant thing. I've got my missus, and she's been absolutely fantastic with me. So anyway, they are a couple of songs by Citizen Soldier, and like I say, the lyrics are very powerful. Like I say, he talks a lot, sings a lot about his mental health, and, you know, and he's quite open about that. So yeah, give him a listen. So that's the end of this stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful, and thank you for listening.